Hey everyone, Dr. Foster, the success coach with MaximumChange.com. Thank you for joining me today. I have once said that the distance between what you want and what you get is based on what you think and then what you do. So basically what I'm saying is, if you want to be successful, you have to change the way you think. This was a great epiphany for me. I have degrees. I've gone to years of school. I have 25 years of business. And it was about a year ago that something happened where I realized that I already knew everything I needed to do. I just needed to realize I had to tell myself it was okay to do it. So the distance between what I want and what I get is based on what I think. But not just think, what I do. And everything I do is based on planning. I write it down in a book and I plan out my days, plan out my weeks, plan out my years, plan out my future. This book here that I have, I started September 20th, 2017. So almost a year ago, I started this book of dreams, hopes, and goals. And I have some goals that I'm working on in here. And I go back and I look at them. But here's the thing. You can't just say, I want something, but you also have to say, what am I willing to do to get it? What am I willing to give to do it, to get it? What I mean by that is, how hard am I willing to work for my dreams, my hopes, my goals? But it's not about acquiring wealth and power. It's about what you do with wealth and power once you get it. And see, one of my favorite books, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, he talks about that in order to get, you must give. And so I made a decision that part of what I would do is I would give 1/10 of what I earn in my company to charity automatically. I don't often talk about that, but I wanted to talk about it here today. What are you willing to give to get what you want? And so that meant that I had to start thinking differently about my business, thinking differently about myself. I had to fill my head with positive, motivational, inspirational information. This morning, I was on the treadmill and I was listening to these motivational tracks over and over again. So I listen to Spotify, and all you need to do is go to Spotify, go to any audio thing that you might listen to, and I listen to it on my phone, and I have my earbuds in, and on there working out. All you have to do is go to these motivational things and type in motivational or entrepreneurship, and all sorts of inspirational speeches and music will come up. Fill your head with that. Write out your goals. Write out your beliefs. I would even write down positive aspirational statements. I am receiving wealth. I am receiving success. I am successful. So you want to say these mantras. You want to say these motivational statements. Read. You've got to read. This is one of the best books I ever read, and it changed me. I read it maybe 20 years ago, but I wasn't in the right mindset to read the book back then. I knew it was an important book because I was told it was an important book, but I didn't really read it. And I would recommend that you get a copy of this book. I got it off of Amazon for, I don't know, under $10. It was like probably around $6. It's a paperback. I would get a copy of this book. And I would read it, not just read it once, but read it several times, like maybe once a year or multiple times during a year. There is information in this book that will change you from the way you think, the way you approach things. So here's the deal. As an entrepreneur, I work from home. The only one here really are my 2 dogs that are sitting down at my feet right now as I'm doing this video. I'm alone most of the day. Unless I'm meeting with a client through video conferencing or I'm training or teaching, I am here alone. And so I had to find a way to stay motivated, to stay positive. And another great book that I came across is this book called Positive Psychology by Bridget Grenville Cleave. I got this off of Amazon. I don't remember how much I paid, but it was under 20 bucks. Find information, constantly read. I mentioned this in a video maybe yesterday, where if you go and you study the most successful people, they are reading, they're consuming books at an enormous rate. Some of them are reading one book a week, astronomical amounts. I read all the time. I have news services on my phone. There's an app called Flipboard. Great resources where you can read, and I'm constantly reading information in the business space, in the entrepreneur space, in the self-help space. And listen, just because I'm a successful coach doesn't mean that I don't need to stay motivated, inspired, focused. I just did a video on do what you love. And I love what I do. And I know that the distance between what I want and what I get is based on what I think and what I do. So change the way you think. And I'm not saying this is going to happen like that. It may not happen immediately. It may take days, weeks, or months. In fact, there's a well-known psychological study that says that most change happens between 30 and 90 days. That's why you find these programs to help people to get off of drugs and alcohol. They're 90-day programs because they know that it takes about 90 days for someone to create a new habit. And you might need to as well. Spend the end of your day planning the next day. Write it down. Write down your goals. You know, I tell this story often where back in early 2000, let's say 2005, 2006, I wrote down some goals for myself. And it was about 5 goals. And somewhere in the chaos of 2006, 2007, my life kind of blew up and some changes happened. And I lost that. I had it was a piece of paper. It wasn't in a book like I have now. So I lost this piece of paper. And quite honestly, my life was kind of in shambles, and I just allowed things to pile up in my office. And about 2008, 2009 came about, and I started cleaning up the office because I was getting ready to go through some other life changes. I was getting ready to move in 2010. And so around that time period, I found this piece of paper, 2010. And I started reading the goals that I'd written out. This is the power of writing things down. This is why I always tell my clients, write down your goals. Write down what you are going to do, not what you want to do. Write down positively what you're going to do. And I'll just say that one of the things that I put on that list was to write a book. Another thing that was in there was for me to complete my doctorate. And there was several other things. And like I said, there's like 5 things on the list. And when I looked at that list, the majority of the things were either completed or in process of being completed. And remind you, I lost that list. I didn't have it in front of me. Think how much more powerful it would have been if I had had that list in front of me every day and I reviewed it on a regular basis. If you want something, you're going to have to make a decision and go for it. You're going to have to figure out how to change your mindset. This is a day by day, sometimes minute by minute activity that you're going to have to engage in. No one is going to do this for you. If you truly want to be free of the bondage of working for someone else, if you truly want the freedom of being an entrepreneur and working for yourself, you have got to find a way to push through. No one is going to do it. I work with thousands of clients all around the world, and I love what I do, but I cannot make someone change. I can give them the tools, I can give them the encouragement, I can show them how and why and where. But if someone is not ready to make that change mentally, it's all for naught. In fact, I have actually fired clients because they weren't moving forward. Can you imagine that? That you actually let go of a client because they're not doing the things they said they wanted to do? I would rather them not spend money with me than because they're not doing what they wanted to do. So change the way you think. You have to change. Over and over and over again, I find motivational speeches, motivational texts, books, articles, all about how we we fight this battle of the mentality of success. It's a mindset of success. And every single one of these speeches, every single one of the books points back to this general principle that we have to know what we want and we have to work toward it. The distance between what we want and what we get is based on what we think and then what we do. You can't just think about it. You have to work really hard and go for it. When they're saying you can't do it, you'll never do it, you're going to fail, you're wasting your time, you have to find the strength to pull yourself up and say that's a lie and I am not listening to you because I have a belief bigger than your disbelief. And you have to keep going, keep trying. And if you need help with that, I'd love to help you. I help entrepreneurs build their empire, and I'd love to help you build yours. But you have to make that decision. You have to reach out, and you have to make the effort to move toward your goal. A mountain is never climbed by the person sitting at its base. Listen, I'm a hiker. I love the outdoors. If I had my way, I'd be in East Tennessee right now climbing one of those mountains. It's so beautiful out there. That's my happy place. But sitting in the lodge or at the base of the mountain is not going to get me to the mountaintop to experience what I experienced there. There is no word or words that I could use to explain the joy that I find when I accomplish something like climbing up a mountain. The same goes for business. There is no way to express in words what you feel when you achieve something great. But if you go and do it, you will never forget it and always want that experience over and over again. So, what do you want? How are you going to get it? Change your mindset. I'm Dr. Foster, the success coach with MaximumChange.com. If you want help, I've got a great training, move you through 6 weeks of helping you to not only change your mindset, but to build your business. And I'd love to help you to find that success that you so desire and help you build that empire that you so much wish to have. I'm Dr. Foster. Have a great day.